I am currently scaling the fastest growing detailing business, and I've been so busy that I haven't even been filming content that recently, updating you. So in this video, I'm going to tell you the exact things that I've been doing since my last video, updating you on my business. There's a lot of things that go into scaling your business very fast, and it comes down to systems. It comes down to systemizing your business where you can have a repeatable process you have every single day that makes it super streamlined so you're not all over the place. Where do I get customers from? Where do all my leads go? How do I run ads? Where do I do this? Where do I do that? It's all in one spot, and it's to a T where you know exactly what to do every single day. And since I've been doing that every single day for the past 2 months, I've been able to scale past $10,000 a month. And I actually was able to buy my first van in cash, the van I'm in right now, and I'm gonna get it built out in the next 2 weeks. I'm just waiting on a bunch of parts to come in, but it's going really, really good. And I actually have a whole entire team now too, and that is a huge part to scaling that I wanna go in depth into this video. First things first, I want to kind of just run you through what I've done from A to Z and where I am right now in the business. I'll teach you every single thing to do at the point I'm at, and I'm going to tell you how I got there. So first things first, I built a strong standout foundation, and the way I did this was making sure my logos were perfect, making sure my Instagram page is set up properly, my Facebook page, my websites, my CRM is all connected with automations. So the second I start running client acquisitions and start trying to attract clients, everything is set up, everything is automated, my sales pipeline is organized, and I'm not all over the place because a lot of people skip that part. And you also have to understand when you're running client acquisition, you're running it to something. Whether it's your Instagram page, Google business page, your website, and if it doesn't look really good, are you surprised that they call someone else? Because you shouldn't be. So in order to have your whole foundation set up, you just need to get your website set up properly, start focusing on hyper-focusing, getting tons of reviews. You're gonna need to make sure your Instagram page and Facebook page look good, because if you run Facebook and meta ads, and it runs to that page and they look, who is this guy? And they look and it looks terrible, they're not gonna trust you to spend a lot of money. Part of why I am where I am is because I charge $300 for an interior exterior detail. The only way I'm allowed to do that is because of my brand positioning, because of my website, Instagram, Facebook, because of what people see from the outside. I come off as luxury, I come off as quality. And it's because my foundation, the exact way I set it up. Then I went into my client flow. This was the second part of scaling. Everything's set up in the back end. Now I need customers. So what I did was set up local service ads. And if you want to learn how to set those up, I have a whole other YouTube video on that, teaching you guys exactly how to set up local service ads so you can literally copy me and make a lot of money with detailing. These are the most simple ads to set up. You pay per lead, which is really cool because how most ads work is you pay daily. Whether you get 5 leads or not, you're paying. With local service ads, how it works is you pay per lead. So if you get 0 calls all day, you're spending $0 on Google. If you get 2 leads per day and one of them sounded interested and one of them wasn't interested, but it was just like a bad conversation, you would only pay for that one lead that was a good conversation. And they noticed, because it's all tracked through Google, that you gave them a quote, they asked, it was like a qualified lead that actually wanted your services. And if it was a sales process on why you didn't close, Google still charges you because it's not your fault. Anyways, I had like an $88 a week budget, super low. I think I was spending around a few $100 a month on it, and I started to get, leads, and every single lead I would get, I would close, I'd say 50% of them. So if I'm getting 10 per week, I'd close 5. And then out of those 5, I would leverage every single one of them to give me a review. A matter of fact, the first detail I got from Google was a disaster detail on the interior, and it made a total of $450 for a full interior detail, including tip. So it was a great way to get my local service ad started. So I think at the time I spent like $20 on the lead. So I made $450 back. It's an insane return on ad spend, meaning every dollar I spent, I got like 40. Crazy. That's not average. But you have to understand, they work and they're really good. So if you don't have these set up and you are starting out, I definitely recommend it. The only thing you need to officially be able to set it up is proof of insurance, which you can easily get online, and a licensed business or LLC to show them, you're a real business, because they are promoting you. And if they're promoting someone who's a scammer or something, or doesn't have a real business, they don't do it. They just don't. It's Google, huge business. They're pretty liable. Second thing, once I had my Google business dialed in, I ordered my business cards, I ordered merch, and I started getting the foundational local stuff. I ordered a sign. So on the job every day, I put my sign out. People come up to me, hey, what do you charge? If they don't take a picture of the sign, they ask me for a card. I wear the merch all the time. Literally just was at a coffee shop. People are like, oh, you detail cards, can I get a card? So that's a little like local, leverage to have the merch, sign, and cards on hand. And this is not a must, but any marketing is good, because say I spent 20 bucks on this shirt, if I can get one detail off of it, that is a good return on my marketing. So I always advise in dumping money. Like, if you're spending a lot of money on marketing, that means you're probably making a lot of money. So my goal is always to spend as much as I can on all my marketing materials, because at the end of the day, that is how I make all my money within my business. Once I had the local stuff set up, once I have my Google business set up, it was time to start Meta ads. I started Meta ads October 31st, a little over a month ago. Today's December 2nd. And from then to today, I've been booked out 2 to 3 details every single day, strictly from Meta ads, averaging around 250 to 300 per detail, making around 700 average per day, which is absolutely insane. I do have overhead. I have my van I just bought, I have my ad spend, I have the technicians I pay. I just hired my first sales rep, we'll get into that, as well as my first customer service person, so I can completely remove myself. But the gist of it is, you know what you're doing, you have your foundation set up, you start getting the clients flowing in, it gets to that third pillar, which is scaling and building a team. And this is the coolest part about it all, because you have to understand, you always think in the beginning, and I thought this for so long, because I've been detailing cars since I was 12 years old. I stopped for a while, and then I started up again September 16th to really show you what I teach is real. I practice what I preach. I'm not out here trying to say, oh, this is the get rich quick scheme, this is the method. Because I don't fuck with that, straight up. I don't like any of that. I don't like any of the course guru guys who are on all this bullshit trying to sell you a get rich quick scheme. Because I'm not gonna lie to you, this shit is tough. If you're not willing to put in the work every single day, you're not gonna get far, and I promise you that. So even if you do decide to work with someone, even me, it's not gonna be easy. You're gonna have a lot of work. But if you're able to handle a lot of work and you're willing to grow and learn, it could be an amazing opportunity, but that is completely besides the point. Back into team building. I realized I was getting to a point, because I was getting so booked out, 2 to 3 details a day, that it was time to get my first technician. So I made a few job application posts, and I started filtering out. I got around 57 applicants within a few days, and I started calling a bunch of them. You could, really filter someone out just by the way they sound. For the ones that sounded good, I would qualify them to a Google Meet. Once they sounded good on the Google Meet, I would qualify them to come in person and kind of like hover over me for a day, and I'd see how coachable they were. Are they willing to learn? Are they a good learner? Are they coachable? And if that was the case, they would qualify as a potential technician. I found one guy, he was amazing, but I ended up finding someone better soon after. So after 2 weeks of working with the one technician, I fired that guy and went with the second technician, because he was much better. He cared more about the role. He cared more about detailing the cars. He was way more coachable. And most importantly, he wanted to know why I was doing what I was doing. And that is the most important and attractive thing to me as the owner in a technician. Me telling you what to do, yeah, you can learn. I hope you can learn. I'm literally telling you. But for you to go out of your way and want to know why. Why do I do the windows first on the interior? Why do I start at the top of the car? Why do I do the wheels before the paint? Why do I prep the surface before I do a ceramic coating? When someone's asking me that and not just doing it, that really shows they care and they want to learn. So this is my full-time guy, Brad. He's amazing. You'll probably see him in videos. And he's a hard worker and he wants to learn and he knows there's growth opportunities. So he's highly motivated. And as the owner, I take care of my guys. I pay a flat rate. So him being a hard worker, he can really make a lot of money. So he's happy, I'm happy. And then it came to a point where now I have the guy. I need someone to take all the calls because all day I'm getting 5 to 10 leads and I'm detailing the car, picking up the phone. Every morning, 8 a.m., I start getting calls, boom, boom, boom. Before I go to bed, I get home, I shower, call, and I was literally burning out. And this all happened in a 1-month span. So I got a full-time sales guy to start dialing 3 times a day from 8 a.m. to 9 a.m., 12 p.m. to 1 p.m., and 5 p.m. to 7 p.m. because those are the best times to call: morning, lunch, and dinner. Breakfast, lunch, dinner. Best times to call. People who work 9 to 5s are on break, and business owners, you know, they're always available. And I do target very high level people. So if it's a split of, you know, those high level 9 to 5ers who do well, and the business owners. So those are the 3 prime times that I've found from data. You know, I've been calling for a while, all day. And it's another reason data is so important, you know. You want to be able to realize, okay, I call this guy X amount of times. Okay, I notice everyone's calling and answering the most in the middle of the day. XYZ. Data is very important to this whole process, and that's a foundational thing, making sure you're tracking everything in your system or CRM built in your foundation. But yeah, so I have my full-time sales guy answering calls, booking stuff in. I pay him 10% flat on what he books in. So if he books in $1,000 ceramic coating, he makes $100 for a 20-minute call, if even 20 minutes. And if it's a $300 detail that he books in with 3 to 5 minutes on a call, he makes $30. So he's happy, I'm happy. And then my last but not least, this was the cherry on the top to completely remove myself from the operations, is to get a general office manager / VA / customer support. This is an overseas rep, and what they do for me are the tedious things that I do not need to be doing. For instance, answering Google reviews, telling me what jobs are being done every day that I owe to my technician, that I owe to my sales rep. They're responsible of customer service stuff. If someone's unhappy, someone writes a bad review, deal with it, call them, text them, see what's going on, report to me if needed. Because if you add that up in a month, that could be a days of work that I'll never get back, or a few hours a day that I'll never get back. And for me to focus on that when I have higher leverage things I can be doing, it doesn't make sense for me not to have someone to do that. So this is the final cherry on the top roll that really removes myself from the operations. So the machine that I have in place right now is a full-time technician, full-time sales guy. I have the overseas VA support person allowing me to do bare minimum nothing, you know, record some ads, manage them, and just make sure these 3 are doing their job. Maybe takes a few days out of the month, and I have a streamlined business. My goal is to hit $17,000 per month, so I'm making a profit of $10,500. I have everything to the T, how many details I need to do versus coatings, how many per month, how many per day that the sales guy needs to book. He needs to have a $15,000 cash collected. My retention pipeline's in place, so everyone who I've been detailing the past month are gonna come back next month, as well as the following month because of all the automation set up. And hold up, tight turn. And yeah, so I'm at that point where it's fully streamlined, and I will constantly be updating my YouTube channel because I want you guys to understand the foundational things I do, the CRMs I set up, the ads I run, and everything I do, so you can literally copy me and do the same, because I see so many detailers who have so much potential. They're so good at what they do. They just don't know these business foundations to run and have your business run on autopilot. And it's the missing puzzle piece in your business to allow you to have massive scale. I mean, within 2 weeks, I'll have this built out. I'll have this wrapped. I'm gonna have a full-on operation that is complete autopilot where I'm literally doing bare minimum nothing, focusing on content like this to teach you what I'm doing so you can copy me and do the same once again. So just wanted to get on here. I wanted to give you an update on what I've been doing, and I want you guys to know, stay driven in a world stuck in park. I love y'all. Comment, like, and subscribe, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace.